Leetcode problem today. So today's problem is find the maximum length of valid subsequence. So let's go through the problem statement. You are given an integer array nums. A subsequence sub of nums with length x is called valid if it satisfies this condition where every alternating two numbers in the subsequence have the same parity. So sub 0 plus sub 1 percent 2 is exactly equals to sub 1 plus sub 2 summation modded by 2. So basically parity is same for every alternating such sums. Return the length of the longest valid subsequence of nums. A subsequence is an array that can be derived from another array by deleting some or no elements without changing the order of the remaining elements. So if you go through the problem sample test cases, you can basically figure out the strategy to solve this problem. So let me explain with the help of an example. So suppose what would have happened if all were odd. So then the sums would look something like 1 plus 1 1 plus 1 everywhere basically. So every sum would be 2, so parity would be same. So now let's see if everything was even. Again the same thing would hold true and we can get a subsequence of length 4, right? So we can collect all the numbers because this condition would be satisfied and we'll get a subsequence of length 4 which would be equal to the original array itself, right? And there's another case where you can satisfy this condition, which you can see with through this example. So if we take the subsequence 1 2 3 4, then this is a valid subsequence because every alternating sum has the parity of 1. 1 plus 2 is equals to 3 modded by 2 is equals to 1. 2 plus 3 is 5 modded by 2 equals to 1. So the parity remains same for such alternating sums. If there would have been an array something like what I mean to say is we started with odd number then alternated to even odd even. We could also start with even odd and so on. So basically these are the main cases that we need to follow to get the maximum subsequence length basically. So let's code this approach up. So let mute odd is equals to 0. So what I'll try to maintain is odd count of nums. How many numbers are odd in this nums array? Let mute even. Similarly for even we'll have a count. Let mute. We will maintain a count for an alternating subsequence too. So we have three cases, right? So we can take all the odd numbers, we can take all the even numbers, or we can take the maximum alternating number chain. And yeah, so we can just loop through the nums array. Now if num is even, so this is the even case. So what we can do is first of all we can increment the count for even. We saw one extra number right now, so we can increment that count and let us maintain the last parity that we saw. Initially we haven't seen any number, so let's initialize with 0 -1. if parity is the if the last parity that we saw was odd, or we haven't seen any parity, then we can just simply do alt plus equals to 1, because we found an extra alternating number that we can add to the subsequence. Else we can just copy paste everything here and just change the variable names. If this is the last parity was 0 or we haven't seen, then this, and instead of or even, we do odd, and after this if else case, we just update the last parity that we saw, which would be equal to num percent 2, right? Now in the end we have three possibilities, right? We just have to return the max of that number. So in rest there's a function which helps us, so we'll do this, and then we can just do first possibility is even, the other two possibilities are odd or alt. So let's try submitting this code. As you can see, the sample test cases are all passing. So now let's submit the code, and as you can see, all the test cases have passed. So thanks for watching.